So dear schoolmates, you're welcome back to class. So today we'll be making our Zara cap. Okay, so you are going to make use of the first thing you are going to do is to prepare the fabric you are going to use for your Zara cap. And here is what I have just done. I measured 20 inches. This is 28 inches rather, so I used 28 inches. Can you see? So I used 28 inches for the width, for the circumference of my of my head, the circumference. Okay, so and on this part I made use of 11.5 inches. That means if I should open it this way, I'm going to have like 23. Can you see? I will have like 23 inches. Okay, so I will have like 23 inches. So I'm going to fold it back. This part, this is my head circumference. Okay, so this is my head circumference. Okay, this part here is my head circumference, and this is the width. So if I should open it up now, this is this is the width. Can you see the length, how long you want it to be? So now that you've done it, dear schoolmates, I'm going to keep this aside. Okay, so I'm going to bring in this material. This material is called Mako. Okay, you can get it from a cobbler, people that made people that produce shoe, that make shoe. So you can get it from them. And this is what you are going to be doing, dear schoolmates. This is the length of the cobbler. I said cobbler. This is the length of the Mako. So if you want to get it anywhere you want to get it, this is what they measured for you. So this is how it was measured. Okay, so this is 13 inches and this is 9.5 inches. Now I'm going to make use of 3 inches. Okay, so you can use 4, you can use 2.5, but for me I'm going to use 3.5 inches for this. Okay, can you see? I'll mark it that way. I hope you can see it very well. I'm going to mark it here also 3 inches. Okay, 3 inches. I'll also mark it here 3 inches. Then the next thing I'm going to do, I will use my ruler to connect it. Then after rolling it into a straight line, I'm going to cut it out with these scissors. Can you see now? It means that I can still I can still cut out 3 or 2 of it. Can you see? I can still use the remaining one for 2 Zara caps. So I'm going to cut it out. Can you see? You can cut it with your scissors. It's not that hard. So after cutting it out, dear schoolmates, the next thing I'm going to do now is to fold it into 2. I'm going to fold this into 2. Can you see? I will fold it into 2. Then I will notch the midpoint. Can you see? I've notched the midpoint. So on this fabric also, I'm going to notch the midpoint of this fabric. Okay, so let me use this. Okay, let me use this part for the for the down part. Then I will take it this way. Can you see? I'm going to take it this way. Then I'm going to notch the midpoint here. So after notching the midpoint now, the next thing I'm going to do now is to place this Mako. Can you see? I hope you can see it well. The center part I notched here. Can you see the part? I'm going to place the Mako that way. So this will enable me to this will enable me to see where to make sure that the Mako is in between the fabric, is at the center. Okay, so with this now I'm going to move it back a little bit, so and just remain like ½ inch. Then after that, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it this way. I'm going to flip it over like so. Sorry, it should be on the wrong side of the fabric and not the right side. Okay, so then I will do it this way. Can you see? You can see the way I placed the Mako. So can you see? I'm going to remain ½ inch like I said. Then I will flip it over I will flip it over this way. Can you see? So now I've already flipped it over. You can move it forward a little bit. Can you see? You can move it forward a little bit to do what? So can you see? So on this half an inch now, this is what I'm going to do. You can still move it forward a little bit just to have enough space there. So I'm going to take it to the sewing machine now as it is. Then I will fold it in with half an inch. Can you see? I'm going to fold it in with half an inch like so. Then I will sew on it. I'm going to run a stitch on it with just half of an inch. Okay, so you can secure it down with your pin, but as it is now, I will take it to the sewing machine now. Then I will run a stitch on it. Then I will show you when I'm done. Okay, so there's sealmate. As you can see now, I've gone ahead to sew it. Can you see? I run a stitch on it. Can you see? Then there's another thing I forgot to tell you. On this side also, you are going to pin both sides of the marco. Okay, you pin it on the fabric, then you also sew very close to the marco. Okay, you repeat the same thing here. Now don't forget, this is still the wrong side of the fabric. So what I'm going to do now is to remove the pin. Then after removing the pin, I'm going to fold as it is now. I'm going to fold it to the to the wrong side. Now the right side facing the right side of the fabric. Okay, can you see? To be somehow tricky because of the marco. Can you see? This is the marco. I hope you can see it very well. So this is the marco and this is the wrong side of the fabric now. The right side of the fabric now facing the right side of the fabric. Can you see? Now what you are going to do now is to take your round head circumference. Okay, take your head circumference. I'm looking for something I can place on it. Okay, let me just place this on it so that it stands. Okay, so the next thing you are going to do now, dear sealmate, is to take your head circumference. So mine is 22.5. okay, mine is just 22.5. so 22.5 divided by 2 is going to give me 11.25. okay, going to give me 11.25. so, and it is even better you use your head circumference plus half an inch to cut your fabric, so that when it is time to shape it like this, because of the marco, the nature of the distance, so that you won't have any issues. So now that I've marked it, the next thing I'm going to do, dear sealmates, is to take it up. But before taking it up, we are also going to bring the measurement up here. Can you see? 11.25. You bring it up here also. Then you connect from this part here. You connect it this way. Now when you get to this part now, you want to do it like this. Can you see? You bring it like this. I hope you can see it very well. Can you see now? So from that part, you shape it like so. Can you see to this point? So it means that I'm going to remove this pin, then I'll pin this side that I marked. So I'll bring in another pin to pin this part, just to make it easier for me to pin this part. Then I will repeat the same thing on this other part. So now I'm going to take it back to the sewing machine, there, sealmate. I'll take it back now, then I will sew it, and then I'll sew from this point to this point. Then I will come back and show you. So there, sealmates, as you can see now, I'm done sewing it. So can you see? So I'm going to trim it off. So can you see? So this is it. Now if I should turn it to the other side now, this is how it looks. Can you see? This is how it's going to look. But let me do what I want to do first, so that you see the effects. Okay, so now you are going to gather it, okay, from this side here. So you bring in your needle and thread, then you gather it. Can you see? In fact, you are going to see the effect, then you will like it. Okay, so you can see I'm actually inserting the pin on the 1/2 inch allowance I left. Can you see? So you don't need to, just give it some space and just so can you see? Now if you just gathered it and you don't stitch it first, the thing might the thread might cut at any time and you won't be able to so that it won't reveal your head. So for me, I prefer sewing it first, then I'll just gather it this way, and you are going to see the effects when I'm done. You will like it. So I'm done now. So now you can now you can now do it this way. Can you see the way I did it? So then you cut the thread first, then you tie it or you knot it. Okay, any of the two. So you do it this way. And if you can get this Marco gel seal mate, you can make use of wadding. Okay, wadding 2 works very well. Wadding 2 works very well. Just follow the same step. Okay, and you can just add or crinoline. You can sew crinoline on each other. Just make sure it is up to 3 inches. Okay, some people do use 4 inches, some also use 2.5. Just use whatever number you like or whichever one works for you well. Okay, so just you mate, I'm done now. Can you see? So I'm going to turn it now to the right side. Okay, so just take your time. So can you see? This is a Zara cap. Now it's ready. Can you see? Very beautiful and lovely. Can you see? Our Zara cap is ready. Now you can embellish it there, sealmate. Okay, you can embellish it. Now there's another method in case you want to use it as scarf, as in you want to tie scarf on it. Let me quickly show you how to go about it with paper. So in case you want to tie scarf on it, so just after getting your bridal satin or your Ankara fabric, tie it on your head. You tie it on your head, and you can actually know the amount of fabric you are going to use. I'm just going to show you how you are going to place your marker on it. It's still the same thing. The only thing you will not do is that you won't sew it the way I sealed it on the last place I stitched before gathering it. That is the only thing you will not do. So you will just turn the marker. Let me use this thing as the marker. I don't have anything here to use, so let me just use this pen. So after turning your marker this way, just fold this part like I did, sew it on 1/2 inch all the way from this point to this point. Then you also sew your marker or your wadding, anything you want to use. Make sure you secure both sides here with a stitch. Sealmate, that's all. The next thing you are going to do is to flip it on your head. Then you tie your scarf, and you'll see how beautiful it's going to look. So that is that. If you want to make use of if you want to do the scarf stuff of the thing, you can also make a bow and place it at the back. But for me, I love it this way because I don't want it to cover the the detail on my dress. So now we are done with our Zara cap. You can embellish it if you want, and if you can't do anything, just put stone on it, then you are done. So I can't wait to see your practicals there, sealmates. Thank you. Bye.